Robots are nothing new. They've dominated our big screens for years, of course. Films like Terminator introduced us to the notion of sophisticated cyborg killing machines. Robots so advanced and deadly, they are the stuff of science fiction.
But not anymore. One Aussie scientist is so worried about the rise of the killer robot, he's gone to the UN to lobby our leaders to think very carefully about where artificial intelligence is headed. Toby Walsh is a professor of artificial intelligence at the University of New South Wales and Data61, and he is in New York this morning. Toby, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How do you define killer robot? Is it the Terminator-style cyborg, or, you know, could these electronic vacuum cleaners turn on you?
Yes, I mean, whenever we talk about this, people put up a picture of Terminator, as you just did, but we're talking about much simpler technologies that are actually very near. We have Predator drones flying above the skies of Afghanistan. There's still a human in the loop there. There's a soldier back in a container in Nevada who's making that final life or death decision to fire the aptly named Hellfire missile. But it would take very little to take that human out of the loop and have a computer make that final life or death decision. And so that's something that's actually very near. Terminator's still 50 years away, but that's very near.
Okay. Now, you call yourself an accidental activist. You're in AI and presumably an advocate of artificial intelligence. So what's got you so worried about how things are looking for the future?
Well, what's significant is it's not just myself, but actually thousands of my colleagues. I'm just a token figurehead for a large movement. We signed an open letter 2 months ago at the main AI conference calling upon the United Nations to actually get an act together and put a ban into place. We're very worried about this technology. It's only a few years at best away. In fact, the UK's Ministry of Defence say really it's technically feasible today.
Okay, so you're in New York. You've just had meetings with the UN disarmament chief and the ambassadors of France, Costa Rica and New Zealand. Are you getting the message through? Are they listening to you?
Yes, I think our open letter has added significant momentum to the discussions, but there really is some sense of urgency here. We are only a few years away at best for it. And we saw recently the drone papers that were released last week, which showed that actually, unfortunately, 9 out of 10 of the people that were killed by the drones are not the intended target. Now, that's why you've still got a human in the loop, a very good human who can actually work out when to fire the missile. When we take the human out of the loop and replace it with a computer, it's going to be stupid AI that kills you. And the statistics are going to be even worse than the 9 out of 10 that we've just discovered by this revelation from the drone papers.
Gee, they're worrying statistics, aren't they?
Really are, yeah. What about the big guys around the table who really need to listen to you and take you seriously? I'm talking about the United States, Russia and China. Any luck getting the message through to them?
Interestingly enough, China has actually been started to talk about this issue. I actually did meet the Chinese delegate a few hours ago, and he had some interesting things to say. The US has a position, but one thing I would like to encourage is Australia to take more of a lead. We're actually one of the leading nations in the world in AI and robotics. We are, in fact, the reigning robot football champion, world champions, 5 times current reigning champions. So we punch well above our weight in robotics. We have a lot of robotics going on in Australia, in the mines. We even have, I think, probably the only good killer robot in the world, the one that's actually come out of QUT and is poisoning the crown of thorns pest on the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay.
So, important to know that there is good in there somewhere, right? Like the good things.
It's good, it's just if they fall into the wrong hands, they're bad.
Yes, so like any technology, it can be used for good or for bad. I work on AI because I think there's absolutely wonderful goods that we can do with it. The same technology that goes into an autonomous weapon is going to go into your autonomous car. And in fact, if you buy a high-end car today like a BMW, it's actually got much of that technology in it already.
Right.
And nearly 1,000 people die each year on the roads of Australia. That will stop once we have autonomous cars. They'd be far safer. So we're really keen to see good uses for our technology and not bad. Okay. That's a question mark for society, not for technology.
Right.
Toby,
this is fascinating. Good on you for speaking up about this, because you're the man in the know. Great to talk to you. All the best with it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm scared now.
Don't be scared. I'll be running out of power at about 9 o'clock.
Well, you know how often your phone doesn't work properly. Imagine, well, that
Yes.
technology, imagine that weapons, you know, being run by a computer and other such things.
Frightening in the wrong hands, that's
All
for
right.
sure.